It's been a minute. Happy New Year, YouTubers. Here again, this is Rich Cass, driving home in true January fashion in Wisconsin. It is snowing. We got some snow going on today. Had to run up to school, shoot a video for a conference that I'm going to be part of in February, talking about technology. We're going to showcase some technology with the HoloLens. So basically what we have from a technology perspective is showcasing how you can utilize augmented reality as a tool for both teaching and for actual application in construction. See it in different sectors. Most of your larger contractors are using augmented reality as a component of their business. But what this does is, for those of you who are interested in technology and how technology is a big part of the construction industry, this has been kind of a bridge between the design world and the installation world. So we've had this bridge for a while. It's kind of taken off with the AR and VR community, in the fact that you can use a wearable and actually see the components or see the design in the field. The design software has been there, and it's been in the field, but more on three-dimensionally, but on a monitor. And now here you can wear it, you can see it, you can stand in front of it. So what we do for this is we get a Revit file. So Revit, if you're familiar with Revit, that's great. If you're not, Revit is a three-dimensional software package. So AutoCAD's probably something that more is familiar to you. Autodesk makes AutoCAD, and Autodesk is also the company that oversees Revit. And what the design industry has done, so architects and engineers have now moved to a three-dimensional design model. That 3D design model then allows the user to look at, manipulate. You can actually perform scheduling operations, estimating operations in those models, which is kind of cool. Take some of the traditional measuring and counting out of it from the estimating perspective, but more so from an install perspective. So now you can actually take an owner out into the field, walk them to an area where that installation is going to happen, and load that Revit file up. And what you're doing then is transforming it into the HoloLens world, and you can now wear the glasses, the HoloLens glasses, to see that component in its place. So you can pin it to the exact location. You can see where it's going to be built. So it's a great visual for the customer. Customers generally have a hard time visualizing, especially trying to go from a two-dimensional environment to a 3D built environment. It's kind of tough for them. And this actually allows them to visualize it in the field. Your trades and project managers can also utilize this tool as well to see those components. There's many layers to it, so you may have the framing installed and you want to take a look at your electrical and plumbing roughs for the wall. You can actually just bring up that component of the model and see those components where they're going to live inside that wall. And you can actually pick those points and see where it's going to be. You can come in on the back end too and say, okay, we've installed it. Could you come back and do a quality check to make sure that we put it in the right location? To the point where now you maybe drywalled and finished that area. Now you need to make a wall penetration. You're like, hey, where's the electrical? Where's the plumbing? Before I drill a hole, whether it's in a slab, in a wall, you can put that back on and take a look at the wall and go, oh, well, it's right here. This is where you need to drill. So there's a lot of different benefits to it. We're kind of pairing it in the presentation that I'm doing with some other components. So the individuals at the conference can see our built environment. So what I did is I went into our lab with nothing in it, utilized the HoloLens You can see our steel package and foundations and what that looks like. So they were able to actually film both what I'm seeing through the lens, but also film me walking around in the lab viewing those components. On the other side of the component that I'm putting in is the three-dimensional or 360 scanning of that space. And what that's going to be is when you're scanning that space, you're able to see the built environment. So being able to, I'm going to show the attendees what it looks like when it's completed. So we use a tool called a Matterport. You can also use the HoloLens to do scanning, but we use a Matterport to do 360-degree scanning, and then you have a component that you can actually use for scanning the space for as-builting. We actually take our scans and we can send them over to Matterport, and they will process the scan and send back a Revit file. So what we're seeing for the HoloLens, they'll give us a Revit file back. So if let's say you're going to renovate a space, there's no plans for that space, you go in and scan it and send it off to Matterport, they give you a Revit file back of the existing space. That's going to save time on the design side, so the architect's not out measuring and redesigning it. They can actually take that Revit file and move forward with it. The accuracy of the tool is very good. I found that we see, some, depending upon what it is that you scan, it can be anywhere from a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch off, but I've found that it's relatively accurate. So when you start looking at the ability to, within minutes or hours scan a space to save that time from a design perspective, we're talking potentially thousands of dollars in design costs that you can save. Plus you have a record of that existing space that you can work off of. You can also take that 360 scan and go into a virtual reality or VR environment and be able to look at it. You can progress your jobs, so taking a look at scans over a period of time and going back and looking at where utilities are on the wall or blocking is in the wall before you put in cabinetry or make penetrations in the wall. So there's some really neat technology out there, and I know I'm kind of getting off on a tangent, but that's kind of what my day was today, was filming some of this stuff to put it together in a package. And a lot of people don't know that some of this technology exists and how user-friendly it is, how adaptable it is to the construction environment. It's initially the investment of the tool and then the training of the tool, but once you have that under your belt, the cost of rework and initial cost of design, saving money on errors and things like that are huge. Whereas you can pay for some of these tools rather rapidly. I know when robotic total stations were coming out, so a robotic total station, for some of you that don't know what it is a layout tool that will measure distance, location, elevation, whatever you need. You can use one person for that, and you actually have your design files in the total station, and you walk around with a rod, and that rod will allow you to position any known point that you want for layout work or as-builting or whatever you want to do on your project. When those tools first came out, relatively expensive tool. So when they stepped up to robotic total stations, we're talking, something that's going to cost $50,000 to $70,000. Contractors were finding the opportunities to save that amount of money on a large enough project to actually absorb the cost of the tool purchase on one or two projects. And once you have that, then you're going to move forward with that tool and save money over time. So, our robotic total station, we use a TopCon model. That's the brand that we use. We can take a Revit file and load that up into our TopCon. So again, taking a look at the same file systems that I've been talking about with the HoloLens and the Matterport and all of that, you can now load that into the TopCon and do layout work with that. So not only can you see it with the lens, but you can use a tool that's going to tell you exactly where the points are and how to lay out forms for footings, anchor bolts for steel, penetration points, whatever it is that you're looking to lay out, you have that ability to do so. So I kind of got off on a technology tangent there, but I'm kind of a technology buff when it comes to construction. I wish I knew more on operating some of the stuff that's out there, because it's coming at us so quickly. The changes in the technology have escalated immensely. A lot of that has been because of COVID and because of our labor shortage. So having to be able to do more with less and maintain or increase the quality of the project and still maintain your budget and time schedule, this is one of the ways that the industry has been able to adapt to that environment to stay competitive, to continue working as they are. So I guess I got off on a technology tangent with this one, but look at it, if you're interested in construction, this is a great way to get involved, for young people to get involved, because it's more of a touchy-feely. If I talk to someone about construction management, they're like, well, what's so exciting about your career? You look at budgets and schedules, and then, it's like, if you want to be an accountant or something like that, it's, it doesn't sound exciting to a 16-year-old. But when you can put technology on that's similar to what you're seeing with gaming and all of that, and now they see that translating into the work environment, it's kind of got some flair to it. And, it gets people excited. It helps us in industry save money and time and increase our quality. And it's just kind of where we're trending today. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, driving it home today, driving home in a little bit of snow. Snow is kind of tapering off here, so it's been a little bit easier drive. A little bit windy today, so I hope it's not too noisy on the video. But thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And stay tuned. Hopefully talk to you again soon, maybe this week.